show you real quick what the four main things are that help us in terms of basically really engaging with these audiences on Facebook. There's four major factors. One is the profile, which I started to talk about. The second one is pages, and with pages we are actually dealing with a business profile. It's the business's branding exercise on Facebook. And so we distinguish that by basically once we build up our fan base with our influencers and our engagers, we can start putting out our marketing messages because they're fans of our brand. So they're expecting us to market to them to a certain extent. But then we utilize our profiles that even created those pages, that once we send out a message on a page, we're actually going to be liking or commenting on that specific thing that we just posted with our page, the update from our page. We're going to utilize our profile to like and comment and so on, so more people in our base of people will be able to see that as well. But then there's some really cool things that Facebook has that go somewhat underutilized, and some of those two things are groups and then the social ads. The social ads are cool. I'll just briefly touch base on that because it's demographically focused. You can have a very specific niche audience that you're going after, or if you want to just serve up an ad that will get people to become a fan of your page, which then you can then market to them later, you would use an ad to do that. The ads range between 25 cents and $1.75 to be able to get some eyeballs, and you can be very specific about the demographic, what's specifically on the page that ad is served as people are talking about. Like, so in this case, if they're talking about going on a ski vacation, for example, then it would make sense to like just serve up ads to people talking about ski vacations, and then they're in a specific demographic and monetary thing and so on and so forth. So, but we'll talk that's irrelevant in terms of us from an organic standpoint, really utilizing what Facebook has for free to do this stuff. So Facebook groups are really cool. What they do is you end up having really rich communities, and these rich communities essentially what they serve as is kind of a medium by which we can interact with all of the groups that are out there in terms of like that people who have specific interests or want to engage in information sharing amongst each other. So the two ways we start to look at that are you can either one, create groups if one isn't out there, or two, you utilize one of the powerful parts of what Facebook has, which is the search feature, and you start looking at what types of things are out there in terms of being able to I'll just start up a new screen here, but being able to engage with people who are interested in what you have to offer. So let's just look at something related to Aspen and see what the search results come up. So when we say Aspen, obviously there's Aspen Snowmass, and the first thing that comes up are people. So Aspen Snowmass started their thing, as did some of these guys prior to a lot of these things. So these are actual posts that come up in the search results. Here's some Aspen Fashion Week stuff and Francis and like and then there's some web results. But we want to actually look specifically for groups. So we're going to go over here and just filter the results by groups. So then there's groups related specifically to Aspen, Colorado. There's Powder Hounds. There's the Aspen Snowmass group. And these are all specific groups for various things of people. And there's over 500 results particularly related to Aspen in general. But in here, let's just go to Aspen, Colorado for an example. And you can see all of these various, somebody put this together and just put some resources up here for travel deals and news and all kinds of stuff like that. And essentially there's 216 members. You actually, as a member of a group, can write anything and communicate with these people if they come back and check out your group. You only get updates and so on if you choose to do that, but really if someone doesn't join a group unless they want to interact with that information to some degree. So first you want to find groups that are related to your specific niche and then become a part of those groups. And then if there aren't any groups that go into even more niches of people who like, for example, maybe you want to make a group about people who are specific, who are like loyal Aspen travelers, for example, then you can actually just make a new group based on what you do to attract people to that, and then you invite people to that group. And there's some differences in terms of why groups are important, because you can use groups actually to message people, everybody in that group, up to 5,000 people via the inbox, which is one communication channel in there. So you can actually compose a message, and if you have 2,000 people in your group, you can send it to everybody. The difference between that and your profile is you only have, you know, a maximum of like 20 or 30 people that you can do that with. The difference between a group and, say, a profile or a page, I mean, is that you can customize it with HTML. So our page here, we can actually add a whole new tab here and just make something very specific about what we want to do. So we can just add a new tab and then add in like HTML content in terms of photos or a specific special or specials that are going on, and that kind of thing. And essentially the page is also used to really manage the ads. So that's really the biggest difference. So essentially, one thing I wanted to just point out to you in terms of communication and so on is that just to summarize, the personal profile, you can have up to 5,000 friends, and then you can direct message to those people, up to 20 people at a time. With a group, you can have 5,000 members, and then you can direct message up to 5,000 of those people. And then with a business page, you actually, that we're on right now, you actually can have unlimited amounts of friends, but there's no direct messaging to those people. You can only send notifications via just doing updates. And then that's more of the passive marketing that we're talking about, how that works. So how do we engage the audience with some of these things? Well, what's kind of interesting is that you have to be, you have to, when you have a page created from a profile, you want to be very careful in terms of, you know, making sure that whatever you are doing in terms of serving information from your profile is separate from your business actually serving up marketing messages that you want to make sense. So from your personal profile, you want to do something that's entertaining, kind of controversial, maybe outrageous. I can tell you, like on the Stay Aspen Snowmass profile, like there were a few posts here that one of them was kind of a little bit more, yeah, we're on our wall here. So is that when somebody like this person, looks like, I think she posted a video earlier, and so one way to be, let's just look at her profile here real quick, because she posted this video earlier about kind of animal rights or what have you, and here it is. And so this one, you know, for me, like, I'm a hunter, but from the business standpoint, oops, sorry, I didn't want to go there, but you know, this is about like stop killing animals or whatever, but I hunt. So like one way to engage with this person that would be controversial, and you would want to do this from your personal profile and not your business page, is that you would leave a comment saying, well, what are you supposed to eat for dinner, or something like that. And then what that does is it might incite some of her friends to like offer their feedback, but you're engaging with them and you're starting a conversation, and they'll see who you are based on that. So with that being said, you kind of, when you engage in these conversations, you're essentially looking for ways that you can, if somebody says something about like a fashion show or something like that, and you know there's a fashion event coming to Aspen, you definitely want to be engaging with that and be like, oh yes, this is great, and then share some of your knowledge about that, and even provide a link back to your site if you have specific information that relates to people who may want to get that. And especially if it's like you can talk about a celebrity that might be coming to town or something there. But above and beyond that, definitely sharing links, videos, YouTube videos, photos, news, events, and repurposing other people's content are all really valuable ways that you can kind of engage in this conversation. And as people, when some of these things strike people as being like, oh yeah, this is interesting to me, I'm going to share it with all my friends too, or comment on it, and that's kind of how this viral thing starts to occur. So the real trick is to get basically a couple influencers. I don't personally know this person, but